Hello everyone, welcome back to Manga Goblin. I'm Trix, of course, and today we're going to continue our series on the Gyaru subculture by looking at one of the subcultures within the subculture. This is, of course, the Kogal or Kogyaru. It's also known as kōkōsei Gyaru, which literally translates as high school gal. However, it can also mean young woman, so using the ko, which means young woman. However, that's not exactly correct, because if you would want to say a young lady or a young woman gal, you would say waki gyaru, not kogyaru. Now, this has a couple of origins, the name kōkōsei Gyaru or Kogyaru. Some people, it says, comes from as a code originated by bouncers in clubs that would use to distinguish high school girls or minors from adults, basically. It also supposedly comes from another sort of thing that they call Kogalese, which is a sort of like language within language, if you understand, a series of phrases which will often be portmanteaus of words that they pronounce from English and Japanese, and they'll put them together. This is very inspired by the California Valley Girl type thing, and it incorporates a lot of that styles. For example, blonde hair, slang words, which I've already discussed, and another theory is that it was originated by Pamela Anderson. Now, that theory comes up a couple of times in various articles. However, I can't find any definitive proof in Japanese that is a thing. That's that. Okay, so apart from what makes a Kogal a Kogal, well, it's the alteration of high school uniform. This can include a miniskirt or a microskirt, loose socks or leg warmers, and the Burberry check type of scarves, sometimes animal print accessories, and they will use like cute stickers, badges, bags, hair accessories, etc., etc., to accentuate their looks. This is quite famous in Harajuku and Shibuya in Tokyo. In particular, Shibuya's 109 building. A pop singer called Name Amuro promoted the style, and Kogals are avid users of the photo booths, which seem to be very popular in Japan, often visiting at least once a week, according to some reports. Now, there are some dark sides to this fashion type or stereotype. You'll find a lot of these in the more hentai type areas, because of the whole thing to do with anglicized. Now, anglicized basically means compensation dating. Now, often this doesn't have to be sexual. It can just be going to dinner with someone, but there is a lot of cracking down on this. I think since the early 2000s, mid 2000s. However, again, this is a fashion which doesn't have to be linked to age between 15 to 19. It can be people of any age. Now, a lot of people see this as a sort of lifestyle of the rich, which they get the nickname as a parasite single girl. Now, I don't know, again, I can't prove any of that, simply as there's only one source, and that is in English, and we don't have a Japanese source to confirm. So if someone has a Japanese source to confirm that it's a more of like a rich girl type of architectural fashion type, that would be something interesting to look at. Kogal sometimes are issues in Japanese media. They are seen as booking the trade. They are seen as thumbing their nose at authority figures, for example, uniform standards of schools, and will often face persecution or detention for their lifestyle choice. Now, it's never been in the majority of Japanese teenagers or Japanese people. It rather symbolizes a sort of rebellious stereotype or attitude. There are a lot of knockoff design brands. Now, I don't know much about the Gyaru design brands. It is also linked to a couple of things. For example, in the 1980s, it was linked to the American word Yankee and Bozozoku girls, which are dropouts from private schools who, instead of lengthening their shirts like androgynous Yankee girls, created a new form of rebellion, shortening them. These dropouts were thus taking their cues from various students and added their own touches, for example, like cellular phone stickers and hanging around various areas such as Shibuya. In 1993, there was also a television special called the Kogal Night, or Za Kogyaru Narito, introduced the Gyaru subtype to a mass audience and provided a model for aspiring Kogals to follow. In 1994, a fashion sense called Egg was, magazine called Egg rather, was a magazine for Kogals, was established in 1995. However, a lot of these magazines have now dropped off. A lot of this is now digital. There are a couple apparently still out there. If people want to point me to titles so it would help me with research, that would be awesome. Because again, I'm limited by what I can find in. And for example, it's very hard for me to search in Japanese because I don't know the keywords that I would be searching for. I mean, I can muddle my way through Japanese articles, but again, searching for them is a whole different ball game. Now, if you want to see some examples of this stereotype in manga and anime, that's my specialty. Gals is a shoujo manga by Mihona Fuji, and that's completely about the Kogal lifestyle. There's also My First Girlfriend is a Gal by Meguru Uno. There's also, I would add, Anju-san, who's definitely a Kogal. And there's also, I would say, a completely finished manga, which was pretty cool actually, called Gal Dohan. Now that specialised more on the relationship between a Gyaru character who was failing school and a club that she joined, the cooking club, and eventually, now if you don't like age gap romances, in the end the teacher and the student do marry each other once he's 18 basically. Yeah, there's a lot of that in anime and manga. That's a different issue. Some people have problems with it, some people don't. For example, the character is introduced at being quite basically 18 at the start of the manga, and she's basically failing her last year, and basically he helps her graduate and they form a close bond. It is quite interesting. I might review it at some point when this series goes on. Actually, I might do it this week because I've read it a couple of times, so that would be easy to do. So there we are, that's the Kogal one. If you want to find out more, check out those mangas. If you want to read a magazine or look at a Kogal fashion magazine, you might be able to find old copies of the magazine Egg online, or you might be able to find a magazine called Happy Nuts magazine. If you can find it. Again, these are just the English translations of those names, or that, I don't know, for example, they could be titled that in Japanese. I have very limited articles that I can use, unfortunately. But I do thank you everyone for your time. Do take care of yourselves, and bye bye.